Okay, so we're going to go through some financial statements and analysis. And of course, this relies on your financials being accounted for accurately and well and being tended to. But these are some neat features that Zoho Books in specific offers. And besides, if you can get these reports from QuickBooks or whatever else, that's fine too. But we're going to look at Zoho Books today because notice it's real neat here. We can compare one year to the next and all you have to do is choose your date range, your accounting report basis, and then your previous period or previous year, and then how many years you want to compare to. So for this one, we're just going to do the 3 columns. And then what we do is export to Excel, and you can then from there what we did was add it to Zoho Sheets. You could do it in Excel or Google Sheets as well. So what you see here is I added this column 2020 versus 2019 and then 2020 versus 2018. Now this formula looks a little scary, but I'm going to run through it for you. If any of these, because it's wrapped within an OR statement, so if 2019 is 0, or 2020 is 0, or 2019 is greater than 0, but 2020 is less than 0, or 2019 is less than 0 and 2020 is greater than 0. So the inverse. So we don't want to be running, and then this formula, 2020 divided by 2019 to get the percentage, which might be a positive, an increase or not. This has gone down 93% in this example. So, and then because we're converting it to a percentage, it's -1. So it's a simple concept with also weeding out things to just get a blank. So the formula is still here, but we're getting a blank. If this is 0, because we don't want to divide 0 divided by whatever is going to be 0. We don't want that clutter. And then this divided by 0, we don't want that clutter of some formula error type of thing. And then if one number is a negative, so like let's say -95 here divided by +95, we don't want it to be looking like giving false results. So just positives get compared to positives, negatives get compared to positives, and ignore the zeros. That's really all that formula is. And then we come up with some percentages for the rest. And you just go into format, format cell as a percentage, decimal place of 2. Okay, so, and again, this is the same for Excel or Google Sheets, or in this case, Zoho Sheets. Now, a cool feature in all 3 of these is, check this out, format, conditional, color scale. And I like this one. Red is, typically bad, green is good. So, and then white is somewhere in the middle. So notice green is high, 0 is the low out of the cells that I selected. And then we've got these in-betweeners as white. Now, if you pick a different formatting, that's fine. But we don't want to just select the whole column, because the top of the balance sheet, and if you're not familiar, balance sheet is assets and liabilities. So assets here, current, other, fixed. And then liabilities and then equities. So assets are good. So I'm going to select here and then hold down Command or Control if you're on Windows, and just select the same range, just like this. Format, conditional, color scale. There we go. So a decrease of 93% is bad for an asset. Okay, so maybe you can see where I'm going with this. That is true for assets, true for fixed assets. You know, positive fixed assets is good. Now we're going to get down here to liabilities. Okay, if your credit card, American Express credit card, goes up, then that's bad. So what we need to do, select all these just like we did before. And the reason I'm selecting them in ranges is because that's how it's going to compare. So this column of selections is going to compare within itself. Otherwise, we're going to have 0.82, negative 0.82 compared to 12,000. That's not what we want. Format, conditional, color scale. And then we do that. However, now we click Manage Rules. And we're going to delete this one. That's a duplicate from before I started the video. Now we're going to edit the rules and swap the colors. And now we'll see a high American Express balance is worse than a lower one. Okay, and this is a balance sheet, which is a snapshot as of a certain date. So having 30,000 on a certain date, maybe the next day, January 1st, maybe you made a $30,000 payment. So none of this is by itself good or bad. We just need to make sure that we are color coding them in a way that makes sense. I'm not sure what happened on these. Okay, F and G range. Okay, so we just want to do a little sanity check here. So decreasing pretty much entirely is good. Some of this stuff is not going to be apples to apples. Maybe accounting, the chart of accounts changed a little bit, and maybe this got moved up to here or something like that. So it's not a perfect system, but we want to be intentional about the conditional formatting and not just blindly choose conditional formatting and having a green be a bad thing is basically the idea here. Okay, so these are liabilities, so we want to inverse this. Okay. And then equities are positive. We would conditionally format those in such a way. Now you'll notice I selected to here, not all the way to the bottom. At the bottom, what we want to do is select across. Conditional formatting, just like that. So we see the largest asset year, good. The lowest asset year, bad. So actually, and then we want to select it between those two themselves, because 4.5 times increase is better than 2.5 times increase. Okay, so same thing down here. Assets, fixed assets, other assets, etc. We want the totals. including equities. We want to see go up. Liabilities, we're not going to select right now because those we want to see go down. There we go. So this is better than this is better than this. So that I'm going to do a couple of final cleanups on this, but that's the conditional formatting for a balance sheet. Okay, so we're in Zoho Books and in the report section, and notice you can run your profit and loss, cash flow, balance sheet, and there's this business performance ratios, which is pretty helpful and fairly unique across accounting tools. So this is the current ratio, and notice you can, choose several. If you click page tips, it'll tell you what the current ratio is. If we switch to debt ratio, it'll tell you what the debt ratio is, explain how it's calculated, etc. So this is a really cool tool. And just to show you profit and loss, which might be simpler for you to understand, notice some of the negative income, contra income account would be, formatted in such a way as an inverse to sales. We want sales, green is good, discounts, red is bad. And then same thing here, we want to compare across the years, and we're comparing 2020. It's the same formula here. We're comparing 2020 to 2019 and then 2020 to 2018. And we're just seeing 2020 has 32% more operating income. Same thing down here compared to 2019, and then 46% more compared to 2018. And we could have compared 2018 to 2019 and then 2019 to 2018, but we just right now we're analyzing 2020, how we're doing in in this year's books, kind of at a higher level. And so that's why we're comparing 2020 against 2019 and 2020 against 2018 to see some trends in that way. Hopefully you like it. Thanks. Feel free to contact us if you need help with Zoho Books or even QuickBooks and ongoing bookkeeping services.